First up, the 1943 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in normal extra fine condition. This coin has a place in coin collecting history not only because of its unique composition, but also because of the widespread myths, confusion, and excitement that surround it. Today we will explore what makes the 1943 penny so famous, why collectors still search for it, how to identify its characteristics, and most importantly, what its value is in today's market. For an example, in extra fine circulated condition. Begin. The 1943 Lincoln wheat penny comes from a year when the United States Mint made one of the most significant temporary changes in coinage history. Due to wartime demands for copper to build ammunition and military equipment, the Mint removed copper from the 1-cent coin and replaced it with zinc-coated steel. As a result, the 1943 penny is the only regular issue steel cent ever produced by the United States Mint. This metal change created one of the most easily recognizable coins in circulation because of its silver gray appearance, which stands out from all other Lincoln cents. The no mint mark version of the 1943 penny means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia produced more 1943 pennies than any other mint, making these coins easier to find in general circulation. However, even though millions were made, collectors still desire high-quality examples, especially those in extra fine condition where the details on Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears remain sharp and clear. Though steel composition of this coin leads to another interesting element of its history. Many 1943 pennies rusted or corroded over time. Because steel is highly reactive when exposed to moisture, finding examples that have survived in strong preserved condition makes them more valuable even if they do not fall into the rare or uncirculated category. Extra fine condition means the coin shows light wear on the high points but still has crisp lines visible around Lincoln's hair, jaw, and coat, as well as clear details in the wheat stalks on the reverse. Fame of the 1943 penny also comes from one of the most legendary coin eras of all time, the 1943 copper penny. While the vast majority of coins struck in 1943 were steel, a few were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchettes. These copper 1943 pennies are extremely rare and worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars whenever one appears at auction. Because of that, collectors often check every 1943 penny they find, hoping to discover one of these elusive treasures. Even though the normal steel penny is common, it remains surrounded by excitement because of this famous heroine. Looking at your 1943 no mint mark penny in extra fine condition, there are certain features that help verify its authenticity and quality. The first thing to look at is the color. A genuine 1943 steel penny should have a silver gray tone, not a brown or copper color. If the coin appears copper-colored, it is most likely a steel penny that has been plated or altered. Magnets also help identify steel cents because steel is magnetic. A genuine 1943 penny will cling to a magnet. If it does not, it is either copper or a counterfeit. In extra fine condition, the surfaces should show only minor signs of wear with well-defined lettering and strong rims. Now let us discuss value, which is the key part that most collectors and viewers want to understand. The value of a 1943 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in normal extra fine condition depends on the strength of its original luster, the absence of corrosion, and the overall sharpness of its details in today's auction market and collector sales. An extra fine 1943 steel penny typically sells for around 50 cents to $1. Some particularly attractive examples with exceptional surfaces may bring slightly higher value, but generally the price remains within this modest range because the coin is still relatively common in circulated grades. Even though the value is small, the 1943 penny holds significant historical interest and is often one of the first coins new collectors add to their collections. This Coin represents a moment in American history when the country redirected resources to support the war and the mint adapted to meet national needs. Many collectors appreciate the story behind the coin as much as the coin itself, and the metal change of 1943 remains one of the most memorable events in U.S. coinage for collectors. Keeping a 1943 penny in extra fine condition stored safely is important. Steel cents can deteriorate quickly when exposed to humidity, so using coin flips holders or airtight capsules can help preserve the surfaces. Avoiding contact with moisture is crucial, and keeping the coin away from other coins prevents scratches since steel coins have a zinc coating. Any break in the coating can allow rust to develop, which lowers the value. Long-lasting popularity of the 1943 penny is also tied to its role as a teaching tool. Many collectors use it to explain minting errors, wartime metal shortages, and counterfeit detection methods. Its magnetic property makes it an excellent example for demonstrating differences in metal composition for beginners. This coin is often the first step into understanding more rare and valuable Lincoln pennies, such as the 1909 SVDB, 1914D, or 1922 No-D penny. Even though the typical steel 1943 penny is inexpensive, it plays an irreplaceable role in the history of American numismatics. The story, the design, and the mystery surrounding the rare copper version all make this coin unforgettable. Whether someone finds it in an old jar, inherits it from a family member, or buys it at a coin shop, it still sparks curiosity and wonder. Collectors who want to evaluate their 1943 penny should always look for the level of original mint, shine, the amount of detail in Lincoln's face, and the condition of the wheat stalks on the reverse. If the coin appears clean, sharp, and lightly worn, it meets the qualities of extra fine condition, which is a step above average. Circulated examples. Often these higher-grade circulated coins attract hobbyists who enjoy collecting better preserved pieces. Without paying high prices for mint state coins, the 1943 no mint mark penny continues to be one of the most studied and discussed coins in the hobby, and it still appears in coin hunts and pocket change searches even today. Although its value is modest, the coin holds a timeless appeal and serves as a reminder of how a simple change in metal can create decades of fascination for anyone building a Lincoln wheat penny collection. The 1943 steel cent remains an essential piece. This coin teaches us that not every valuable coin is measured by high dollar amounts. Sometimes the historical significance, design uniqueness, and the story surrounding it make a coin just as meaningful. And for many collectors, that is what keeps the 1943 penny alive in the world of numismatics. Whether kept for sentimental reasons, educational purposes, or simply to complete a set. 1943 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition remains an important part of American coin history and a treasured collectible even today.
The 1947 S. Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is one of those coins that many collectors love to study because even in a normal black color shade condition, it can still carry surprising value in today's market. And this coin holds a special place in the history of post-war American coinage, and the San Francisco Mint that produced it was known for making high-quality cents during the late 1940s. And when you look at a 1947 S penny in the hand, the first thing that stands out is the classic wheat reverse design created by Victor David Brenner. And this familiar design ran from 1909 to 1958 and represents a long chapter in United States small denomination coinage. And for collectors, the 1947 S penny represents the period when the United States was adjusting back to peacetime production after World War II, and copper resources were once again stable, which allowed the mint to return to consistent quality and output. And now when we talk about the value of a 1947 S penny in normal black color shade condition, we have to understand that the value depends on many factors, but even a circulated example can hold meaningful importance for collectors who want a complete date and mint mark set of wheat pennies. And while millions were minted, not all survived in strong detail, especially when they have spent decades in pockets, drawers, boxes, and bags, and have taken on a natural darker shade over time. And this color shift is common for old copper coins and does not hurt their collectability as long as the details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears on the reverse remain visible. In today's market, a 1947 S. Abraham Lincoln wheat penny in normal circulated black shade condition often sells for around 10 cents to $1, depending on how strong the detail is and the sharpness of Liberty, the date, and the lettering on the reverse. And some pieces with slightly better eye appeal can reach $2, while examples with light circulation but still showing crisp lines may go higher, especially if the surfaces have no major scratches, damage, or corrosion. And collectors look for coins with even color, smooth surfaces, and clear details, and these traits can slowly push the value upward. And the S mint mark is always appealing because many collectors prefer San Francisco coins from the wheat series. And although the value is generally modest, coins from this mint tend to be better struck and more consistent, which adds long-term interest. For a coin that has spent many years moving through circulation, a normal black shade finish is very common. And what people sometimes call black color is simply natural oxidation of copper, which is a normal aging process. And even with this darker tone, the coin remains desirable to collectors who focus on complete runs or want authentic circulated pieces that reflect real history. And the 1947 S penny also becomes valuable to new collectors because it is affordable and accessible while still being part of the classic wheat penny era. And for more experienced collectors, this coin can sometimes be a candidate for searching for higher grade examples or discovering potential varieties or minor die markers. As for high auction results, truly exceptional uncirculated 1947 S pennies have sold for over $100, and top-graded examples have reached above $200. But those are for coins in brilliant mint state with no dark tone and no wear. And these high results do not apply to normally circulated black shade examples, but they do show that the date and mint mark combination has the potential for strong value when preserved perfectly. And this helps build interest across the whole range of conditions, including everyday circulated coins that collectors enjoy studying and saving. So in today's market, if you have a 1947 S. Abraham Lincoln wheat penny in normal black color shade condition, its value commonly falls between 10 cents and $1, with better circulated examples bringing a little more, and any coin with stronger detail and smoother surfaces might reach up to $2. And it remains a meaningful and collectible date that tells the story of post-war America, the San Francisco Mint, and the long history of the wheat penny series. And this makes your coin not just a piece of metal, but a small part of American numismatic history and a worthy addition to any wheat penny collection.
Next up, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny with the D. Mint mark is a coin that many collectors overlook at first. It carries a strong place in the history of American. Small cents, and it continues to attract interest because of its age, its condition, and its growing collectible appeal in today's market, especially when found in normal, extra-fine condition. This script will take you through everything that makes the 1951 D wheat penny an important and valuable coin for collectors and why its value is increasing in today's auction environment. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 as a tribute to the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and remained in production until 1958, the 1951 D penny is part of the later years of the series, struck at the Denver Mint, and like many post-World War II coins, it reflects a period of stable production, but also carries the charm and historic look that wheat pennies are known for. The wheat ears on the reverse and the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse make this coin instantly recognizable to collectors around the world. 1951, the Denver Mint produced more than 625 million wheat pennies, making it one of the higher mintage dates of the series. High mintage usually means that the coin is common, but condition plays a major role in determining value. While millions were produced, only a small percentage have survived in extra fine condition. Most were used heavily in circulation, resulting in wear, scratches, and discoloration. This is why a normal, extra fine 1951 D Penny is more desirable to collectors than one found in lower grades A1951D wheat. Penny in extra fine condition shows clear details in Lincoln's hair and coat, and sharp lines around the wheat ears and lettering, even though the coin may show light circulation where the major design elements remain bold and easy to see. The luster may be slightly faded, but the coin still maintains an appealing natural look collectors appreciate. These coins, because they offer historical value and visual quality at the same time, without the high cost of uncirculated grades. When looking at the value of a 1951 D wheat penny in today's market, it is important to understand how collectors evaluate these coins. Extra fine condition places the coin near the top of circulated grades. It is not uncirculated, but it retains enough detail to stand out from average worn examples, while a heavily worn 1951 D penny might only be worth a few. Since the extra fine grade brings significantly higher interest from buyers, dealers, and collectors who want quality without paying premium uncirculated prices. Today's auction market, the value of a 1951 D wheat penny in normal extra fine condition generally ranges from about $1 to $3 depending on eye appeal color and strike sharpness. Coins with stronger details, smooth surfaces, and minimal carbon spots usually sell at the higher end of this range. Some online auctions have shown these coins selling for slightly more when the coin has exceptional natural color or sharp detail. Because collectors are willing to pay extra for visually attractive examples, Denver Mint is known for producing strong strikes during the early 1950s, and this is one reason why many 1951 D pennies in higher grades remain appealing. The mint mark located just below the date is usually bold and clear, adding to the charm of the coin. Since this date does not have major known errors, regular specimens in extra fine condition are often purchased by collectors who are building complete wheat penny sets or focusing on high-quality, circulated examples. Demand for wheat pennies overall has increased in recent years as more collectors return to classic United States coinage. The 1951 D penny benefits from this trend, especially in extra fine condition, where supply is more limited compared to the massive population of well-worn, lower-grade coins. The coin continues to rise slowly in value as more collectors search for problem-free examples to add to their sets. Appeal of the 1951 D penny also comes from its connection to the post-war era, a time when the United States economy was growing rapidly and coins were produced in large quantities, but often used heavily. As a result, many coins from this period show significant wear and tear. Finding one in extra fine condition means the coin survived decades of circulation with only light handling preserving its historical beauty. When collectors examine a 1951 D penny in extra fine condition, they often focus on several key features, including the sharpness of Lincoln's bow tie and jawline, the visibility of individual wheat kernel lines, the strength of the date and mint mark, and the overall eye appeal. Collectors also consider whether the coin has original natural surfaces, which are often preferred over cleaned or altered examples. Original coins tend to hold their value better in the long term, while the 1951 D penny may not be the highest value wheat cent on the market. It remains a consistently collected coin with stable demand. Its affordability makes it a popular choice for beginning collectors, and its historical significance keeps it interesting for advanced collectors. The coin embodies the artistic and cultural heritage of early 20th century U.S. coinage, and for that reason, it continues to be a staple in collections. In recent online sales, coins graded extra fine have shown strong and steady interest. Buyers often look for examples that balance sharp detail with good color and minimal marks, and these characteristics help determine the final sale price. Coin shows also reveals similar trends, with collectors picking up extra fine 1951 D pennies for around $1 to $2, while particularly attractive specimens may sell for a bit more. Understanding the value of the 1951 D wheat penny is also about recognizing its place in the broader wheat cent series. While some Earlier dates are far rarer, and more expensive later dates, like the 1951 D, remain accessible and widely traded. This keeps the market active and ensures that collectors always have opportunities to upgrade their sets in extra fine condition. The coin represents a midpoint between common circulated pieces and premium uncirculated examples. Interest continues to increase in vintage American coinage, especially among younger collectors. The demand for well-preserved wheat pennies like the 1951 D is expected to keep rising. Coins that have good surfaces, attractive toning, and minimal wear have the best chance of holding or increasing in value over time. Collectors often seek coins that balance affordability with beauty, making the 1951 D in extra fine condition a perfect fit for anyone who owns a 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny in normal extra fine condition. It is worth protecting the coin in a proper holder to prevent further wear, keeping it away from moisture, harsh cleaning, chemicals, and excessive handling will help preserve its value. Good storage is especially important because the coin's age makes it more sensitive to environmental damage in today's collectible coin market. The 1951 D wheat penny remains a reliable choice for collectors, building value gradually without spending too much. The coin's charm, history, and affordability ensure that it stays relevant in auctions, coin shops, and private collections, whether it sells for $1 or $3. Its appeal lies in the connection it provides to America's past and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln on United States coinage. This long and detailed look at the 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition highlights why collectors continue to seek out this coin and why its value remains stable in today's market. Even though it is not a rare key date, its combination of age, historic design, and well-preserved detail in extra fine condition gives it lasting appeal for buyers and collectors across the United States. Next up, the 1909 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. This coin is more than just a piece of copper. It represents the beginning of a new era in American coin design, marking the first time a real person appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. The 1909 Lincoln cent captures the interest of collectors all over the world because it connects directly to the immediate legacy of the nation's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, whose leadership and courage continue to symbolize strength, freedom, and unity. The 1909 Lincoln wheat penny was first released to the public on August 2, 1909, replacing the Indian head cent that had been minted for half a century. Now, this change was made to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The public welcomed the new design immediately, and long lines were seen outside banks as people waited to get their hands on the brand new penny. The designer Victor David Brenner created both the portrait of Lincoln and the classic wheat ears. On the reverse, the wheat ears symbolized prosperity and growth, while the bold portrait of Lincoln honored a national hero in a way that had never been done on a U.S. coin before. The specific coin, we are focusing on the 1909 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint because the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not use a mint mark. This coin appears plain, without any letter under the date. This version is one of the earliest Lincoln cents ever made, making it a must-have for collectors who want to complete a full set of Lincoln pennies from 1909 to the present day. Although the 1909 VDB version with Brenner's initials prominently displayed is more widely discussed, the regular 1909 Lincoln cent without the initials is still a significant coin, especially when found in good condition. Collectors value this coin for several reasons. First, it is a first-year issue, meaning it marks the very beginning of the longest-running coin series in American history. Second, although millions were minted, the survival rate of well-preserved examples is lower because these coins circulated heavily for decades. Third, the coin represents a major moment in American coin history, and for many collectors, historical importance matters just as much as rarity. A 1909 Lincoln wheat Penny without a mint mark in normal good condition typically shows moderate wear on. Lincoln's portrait and softening of details on the wheat ears on the reverse, but the date and lettering remain clear and readable even with where collectors appreciate these coins because of their age, authenticity, and connection to history. They are also popular among new collectors because they provide an affordable entry point into the world of early Lincoln cents while still carrying real antique value guarding its value in today's market, the price of a 1909 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in good condition can vary depending on eye appeal color and remaining detail as of now. These coins typically sell in the range of $3 to $8 in normal circulated good condition. Coins with slightly better preservation, such as very fine or extremely fine condition, examples will command higher prices, but for the buy for the average good condition coin, this is the realistic market range. Most dealers and collectors agree that the value remains steady because demand for early Lincoln cents continues to be strong with new collectors entering the hobby every year even. Though the coin is relatively affordable compared to rare error coins or high-grade mint state examples, its significance makes it special. A first-year Lincoln wheat penny represents the starting point of a story that stretches over a century of American history. Every generation after 1909 has held and spent Lincoln cents, making them a familiar part of daily life, but the original 1909 issue remains a powerful reminder of how it all began. The design, the history, and the symbolism all combine to give even a circulated example value far beyond its face value for collectors who wish to add this coin to their collection. It is recommended to look for pieces with clear date and lettering and good overall color without heavy corrosion. These qualities help preserve both the beauty and the value of the coin, while high-grade, uncirculated versions can reach high prices at auctions. The good condition circulated 1909 penny remains an affordable yet historically rich piece that almost any collector can pursue in today's coin collecting world. The 1909 Lincoln wheat penny continues to be one of the most talked about coins because it marks a turning point in the evolution of U.S. coinage. Its true value lies not only in its price, but in the story. It tells a story of national identity, artistic change, and the enduring respect for Abraham Lincoln the Strong. And consistent demand for this coin ensures that its market value will stay healthy and that collectors will always seek out well-preserved examples. So whether you are a beginner collector looking for your first historic coin or an experienced numismatist building a complete Lincoln cent collection, the 1909 no mint mark penny is a coin worth owning. Its value today in good condition may be modest, but its importance remains great, making it a timeless and meaningful piece of American history.
Next up, this video takes you into the world of one of the most talked about Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1944 wheat penny with the D mint mark, found in damaged dot condition. Many collectors wonder whether a coin like this still holds value and what the real price can be in today's market. The 1944 D wheat penny is part of the post-war mintage, when the United States Mint returned to using bronze after the steel cents of 1943. Because of this return to copper, the 1944 series is one of the highest minted wheat cent years, and the Denver Mint alone produced hundreds of millions of these coins. Even with this high mintage, the 1944 D penny remains a popular collectible because it represents the era of transition from the war years back to normal minting practices. The coin itself was made from a bronze composition of copper, tin, and zinc, giving it a rich brown appearance when fresh from the mint. Over time, many of these coins developed darker tones, dents, scratches, and various marks from circulation. When a coin is described as being in damaged dot condition, it usually means the coin shows a notable punch mark or dot-like depression somewhere on the design. This sort of damage almost always results from something happening after the coin left the mint, which means the dot is not an official mint error, but rather post-mint damage. Post-mint damage lowers the collectible value because collectors generally seek coins with natural wear, not accidental marks. Even so, the 1944D penny is frequently checked by collectors because a small number of 1944 coins were accidentally struck on leftover 1943 steel planchets. Those rare steel 1944 pennies can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, but they are extremely rare. A regular 1944D penny made of bronze, especially in damaged dot condition, is not part of that rare category, but people still want to know how much value such a coin can bring today. When assessing value, collectors consider several things. The first is the mint mark. The D mint mark means the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, producing well over 400 million pieces. Since so many were made, a normal circulated 1944D penny in average condition does not hold high market value, but damage can reduce the value further because the desirability drops. The next factor is the grade. Coins in uncirculated or mint state grades have strong collector demand, but a damaged example usually sits at the lowest grade category, making it a budget-level collectible. Even with damage, the coin still has value because all wheat pennies hold interest for beginning collectors. Anyone building a date and mint mark set may include a damaged coin as a placeholder, especially if they are working with a limited budget. A damaged 1944D penny usually falls into the very low price tier of the current market. With the market conditions today and looking at the average selling range, a 1944D wheat penny in damaged dot condition generally sells for around 5 cents to 50 cents, depending on the severity of the damage and how noticeable the dot mark is. If the coin is extremely damaged beyond recognition, the value may be only face value. But if the coin still shows brid details even with the dot mark, the price tends to move slightly higher. Some collectors also buy bulk lots of damaged wheat cents, so these coins can still be sold without difficulty. It is still important to check the coin carefully to make sure the dot is truly damaged and not part of a rare variety or strike issue. Even though this is unlikely with the 1944 series, it is always worth inspecting any unusual marks. You can also check for other varieties, such as repunched mint marks, since some 1944D RPM varieties exist. Those varieties in higher grades can bring decent prices, but in damaged condition, the premium becomes much smaller and often disappears entirely. The presence of an RPM is usually confirmed only when the mint mark area is clean and well preserved, making it hard to identify on a damaged coin. In today's market, the real financial value of a 1944D penny in damaged dot condition remains low, but the coin still carries historical and educational value. It represents a period in American history marked by recovery after World War II. It continues to be a starter coin for many new collectors and a reminder of how coins traveled through decades of use. A damaged example might not bring high dollars, but it enriches any basic collection by adding a genuine piece of circulating U.S. history. For viewers who enjoy coin collecting, the 1944D penny teaches that every coin has a story, even when the coin is not in perfect shape, and even minor pieces help build experience in grading, handling, and identifying varieties. If you have one of these coins, do not expect large profits from a damaged specimen, but you can still appreciate it for what it is, a real bronze wheat penny minted in a major year of American coinage. With millions still out there, the value will not rise dramatically anytime soon, but it's always worth checking your pocket change and coin jars because special varieties or rare compositions can still appear. The story of every wheat penny is tied to its journey, and the 1944D remains one of the iconic symbols of the Lincoln wheat cent era.
Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. Without a mint mark, a coin that many people assume is common, but it still carries history and collector interest that can make it valuable in today's market. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 and continued until 1958. And the 1957 issue belongs to the final years of this classic design. Even though millions were struck, this date still catches the attention of collectors. Because of its age, its design, and the sentimental value connected to the wheat reverse, which represents an era of American coinage that has fully passed into history. When we talk about a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, we are referring to a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia did not use mint marks on cents during those years, so any 1957 penny with no mark naturally belongs to that mint. These coins were made from a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them the traditional reddish-brown or dark brown color that collectors recognize. Your coin is described in normal black color shade, which usually means it has toned over time and developed a darker appearance. This is common for older copper coins and does not necessarily hurt its appeal unless the surface has heavy damage or corrosion. The design of this coin carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The obverse shows Lincoln facing right with the words Liberty and the date 1957 placed around the portrait and the phrase In God We Trust above. The reverse shows two wheat stalks curved along the sides with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center and the motto E pluribus unum at the top. This wheat design is why these pennies are known as wheat cents or wheat backs, and it remains one of the most beloved designs among collectors. Now let us talk about the value of this coin in today's market. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark is a common date, but it is still collectible because it is from the final years of the wheat series. In circulated condition, most examples sell for a small amount, but there are certain details that can push value higher. A normal circulated coin with a darker tone or black color shade usually ranges from a few cents to around $1, depending on how strong the details still appear. Light where attractive toning and no major scratches or damage help keep the value on the higher end for circulated pieces. If the coin has sharper details, meaning the lines in Lincoln's coat, the hair strands, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are still visible, it can push slightly higher in value. Uncirculated examples with no wear can sell for several dollars, and if a collector finds a near-perfect example graded by a professional service, the value can be much higher. Some high-grade mint state 1957 no mint mark pennies have reached values over $50 and in rare exceptional situations, even over $100. These values apply mostly to coins with original red color and full mint luster, which is different from coins that have toned to a darker or black shade. A dark-toned coin in uncirculated condition may still carry good value, but it depends on eye appeal and how evenly the color is distributed. Errors can also affect value. Some 1957 pennies show die chips, die cracks, repunch, mint mark style anomalies, even though this date has no mint mark, and weak strikes. While most of these errors are minor, some can bring additional collector interest. A dramatic die crack or a noticeable strike-through error can raise value beyond the normal range. However, for a common circulated dark-toned coin without visible errors, the value stays modest but still collectible. The 1957 wheat penny also has sentimental value because it represents the end of the wheat series, which collectors enjoy completing as a full set. Many people who build Lincoln cent collections look for every year and mint mark from 1909 to 1958, and the 1957 no mint mark coin becomes essential to completing that historic run. Even though it is not rare, it remains meaningful and important in the series, which keeps steady demand for it in coin shops and online auctions. In today's market, if your 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark is in normal circulated condition with a black toned surface, its average value typically falls between 10 cents and $1 depending on eye appeal. If it has light wear and still shows clear details, it may reach closer to the higher end. If it is extremely worn or damaged, the value will be on the lower side. If it happens to be uncirculated despite the dark tone, it can rise several dollars, and if graded high by a professional service, it may enter a much higher range, though toned coins generally bring less than bright red mint state examples. Collectors today still search rolls of pennies, hoping to find old wheat cents like this one, because they represent history and nostalgia. Even if the coin does not sell for a large amount, it holds educational and sentimental worth. It is a reminder of how American coinage once looked and how long these copper pieces have survived in circulation. A 1957 no mint mark wheat penny in dark shade condition tells a story of decades passing and thousands of hands it may have moved through before being discovered by a collector. So whether your coin is lightly worn or heavily toned, it still carries historical importance. It belongs to the final chapter of the wheat cent era, and it continues to be a popular collectible in coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces. In today's market, its value may not be extremely high, but it remains a cherished piece, especially for those who appreciate the long history of Lincoln cents. Collectors always seek coins that represent the end of an era, and your 1957 wheat penny is one of those coins that still holds a place in the hearts of many who love American coinage. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that appears common at first glance, but carries a level of interest that collectors continue to appreciate even today. The wheat penny series is one of the most studied and most collected coin series in the United States, and each date and mint mark combination carries its own story and its own place in the hobby. The 1958 wheat penny is no exception, and it stands as the final year of the iconic wheat reverse design, which automatically gives it an important position among collectors. The 1958 penny was produced at the Denver Mint, and this mint was responsible for most of the circulating Lincoln cents during the later years of the wheat reverse era. The mint produced an extremely large number of these coins, and millions entered everyday circulation, where they picked up signs of wear from normal use. A good condition example shows clear wear across the highest points of Lincoln's portrait and on the wheat stalks on the reverse. The details appear softened, and the sharpness you would see on a mint state coin is no longer present, but even with this, where the coin still carries its historical value and collector interest, what makes the 1958 penny important is not rarity in the traditional sense, but the fact that it represents the closing chapter of the wheat penny design, introduced back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For nearly 50 years, the wheat cent circulated in the hands of Americans, and the 1958 marks the end of that journey and the bridge that leads directly to the Lincoln Memorial reverse that followed in 1959. Because of this, collectors often seek a full set of wheat pennies, and the final date with the D mint mark is one they always include. Devon, though this coin is common in higher grades, any coin in good condition still has interest for beginners and hobbyists because it provides a very affordable piece of U.S. coin history. The value in today's market depends on its condition, its color, and the level of wear. Good condition is one of the lower circulated grades, which means the coin has clear wear, but all major details are still readable, and the date and mint mark are visible without difficulty. In the current market, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition typically sells for a modest amount, usually between 5 cents and 25 cents depending on the buyer, the seller, and the overall eye appeal. While this may seem low, it's normal for a coin that had high mintage and heavy circulation. However, the story changes drastically when we look at examples in extremely high grades. Coins graded mint state, or especially those graded MS67 or MS68 by professional grading services, can reach significant prices at auction because of their scarcity in those superb conditions. Even though millions were made, very few survive with perfect surfaces, original luster, and no marks. These top-grade coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but those values apply only to certified high-grade pieces, not to circulated good-condition coins. The circulated version remains an accessible collector coin and is often one of the first wheat pennies beginners add to their collections. Collectors appreciate the 1958 D penny because it completes the wheat series. Its date is easy to remember, and it represents the end of one of the most beloved American coin designs. Many collectors also enjoy comparing examples in different grades, examining the wear patterns and learning how circulation changes a coin's appearance through time. A circulated 1958 D penny carries history in every mark and every smooth surface, showing decades of movement through commerce before collectors began saving them in large numbers. When evaluating a 1958 D penny in good condition, it is important to look at the clarity of the date, the sharpness of the D mint mark, and the remaining definition on Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Even though the coin is heavily worn, it should still show full outlines without major damage, such as deep scratches, holes, or corrosion. In good condition, the color may vary from brown to darker brown, depending on age, storage, and environment. These natural changes do not reduce the coin to no value, but they are part of what determines the final price a buyer is willing to pay for. Most collectors, the true value of the 1958 D wheat penny in good condition is not measured only in dollars, but in the coin's place within the larger narrative of United States coinage. It serves as a window into the past, a familiar piece of copper that once passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, gas stations, and everyday transactions long before digital payment systems existed. Holding such a coin allows collectors to touch a piece of American history, and that in itself is part of why this coin continues to be appreciated. In today's market, the financial value of this coin, in good condition, is low, but the historical and educational value remains strong. The coin appeals to beginning collectors, young hobbyists, and those who enjoy the challenge of completing a full wheat penny set without spending a large amount of money. Each coin tells a story, and the 1958 D wheat penny tells the story of the end of an era. As you explore the world of Lincoln cents, remember that value is shaped by rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance. The 1958 D penny may not bring high prices in circulated grades, but it remains one of the most important dates because it closes the chapter on nearly half a century of wheat reverse coinage. Collectors respect it for its role in history and appreciate its accessibility for people at all levels of the hobby.
Next up, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that many collectors overlook, but one that can still hold interest even in full damage and dirty condition. When we talk about a 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark, we are talking about a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most active mints during World War II. This coin comes from a time when the United States was emerging from the effects of the war, and millions of these pennies were being produced to keep up with nationwide demand. Although the mintage was high, collectors today still search for unique qualities, errors, and historic charm within these coins. Even in full damage and dirty condition, the 1945 wheat penny has a story tied to history. This coin has traveled through decades, touching many hands and surviving different environments. The brown, dark, or dirty surface that we see on many of these old pennies is usually the result of oxidation, exposure to moisture, and natural aging. This does not often increase value for collectors, but it does show the coin's long life in circulation. When people find a 1945 penny in this condition, they usually wonder whether it still holds any value in today's market. The truth is that condition plays the biggest role in determining worth, but every wheat penny still carries a minimum collectible or sentimental value, especially for those who appreciate historical coins. The obverse of this coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has now become one of the most iconic images in the history of American coinage. Even when damaged, you can still identify the major details like Lincoln's profile, the year 1945, and the word Liberty. The reverse shows the classic wheat ears that give the series its name, along with the famous 1-cent lettering. These wheat ears were intended to symbolize national prosperity and growth, a message that reflected hope during the wartime period. Now, when we talk about the value of a 1945 penny without a mint mark in full damage and dirty condition, we have to look at current market trends. In the world of coin collecting, a heavily damaged and dirty coin generally carries only a small premium above face value, because its collector's market depends strongly on eye appeal, rarity, and condition. Since the 1945 penny was minted in extremely large numbers, most examples found today, especially those in rough condition, are valued at a modest level. However, the good news is that even damaged wheat pennies are still bought and sold because collectors enjoy filling their coin folders or completing date sets. In today's market, a 1945 Lincoln wheat penny in full damage and dirty condition usually sells for around 5 cents to 15 cents, depending on how severe the damage is. Some dealers may offer slightly more if the coin still has clear, readable details, or if someone is specifically looking for this date for their collection. Online marketplaces sometimes show a bit higher interest because people enjoy collecting historic coins, even if the condition is low. There are also buyers who appreciate coins with natural aging, or those who enjoy cleaning and restoring coins, though cleaning is not recommended by professionals because it can reduce value. If the coin has unique damage, such as a striking error or a rare planchet flaw, then the value could rise significantly, but most damage seen on these coins is post-mint and does not increase the price. The majority of dirty and damaged 1945 wheat pennies fall into the lower price bracket because the market is full of surviving examples in better condition, and collectors usually prefer those. However, for many people, the value is not only in dollar terms, but also in the historical importance of owning a piece of American wartime coinage. Collectors often encourage beginners to start with coins like the 1945 because they're affordable and easy to find. The coin also teaches new collectors how condition grading works and why mint errors or well-preserved coins bring higher prices. By comparing your damaged 1945 penny to a higher grade example, you can clearly see how sharp details, luster, and original surfaces affect value. If you're planning to sell your 1945 penny, you can check local coin shops, online auction sites, and coin buying groups. Many buyers will offer a small amount, but it's still more than face value for a coin that has been circulating for nearly 80 years. The key is to understand that while the coin is not rare in damaged condition, it is still part of a historically important series that many people enjoy collecting. So the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in full damage and dirty condition may not be a high-value coin in today's market, but it remains a meaningful piece of American history. With a value ranging from a few cents to maybe a little higher in some cases, it still attracts interest because of its background, its iconic design, and its role in the wartime era. Coins like these remind us that collecting is not always about high dollar amounts, but about preserving small pieces of the past that continue to tell stories through their worn surfaces and aged metal.
Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most fascinating coins in United States numismatics because it represents a unique moment in American history when the nation was deeply involved. In World War II, and the U.S. Mint made a significant change in coin production materials to support the war effort. In 1943, due to a shortage of copper, which was critically needed for military equipment, the Lincoln cent, which had been struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc for decades, was instead produced using zinc-coated steel. This dramatic change in material made the 1943 steel penny instantly recognizable and highly sought after by collectors today. What makes the 1943 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark especially intriguing is that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the largest and oldest mint facility in the United States. The absence of a mint mark signifies its Philadelphia origin, and this fact alone gives it historical and collector appeal, especially when combined with the unique steel composition. In normal, dirty, circulated condition, these coins are not pristine, but they still carry a strong story of wartime innovation and scarcity that captures the attention of coin enthusiasts. The design of the 1943 Lincoln Wheat penny is consistent with the traditional Lincoln cent introduced in 1909, featuring the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1943 prominently to the right of the portrait. The reverse maintains the classic wheat ears design, a symbol of prosperity and growth, with the words 1 cent centered inside the wheat ears and United States of America above, along with the phrase "E pluribus annum" between the wheat stalks. The steel composition gives the coin a distinctive silvery gray color, though in circulated dirty condition. It often shows signs of oxidation, minor rust spots, and surface wear, which can obscure some of the finer details of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat design. These characteristics, while considered imperfections by some collectors, do not diminish the historical importance of the coin and can actually add to its appeal by highlighting its authenticity and age. In terms of rarity, the 1943 Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark, is not considered extremely rare because millions were struck at the Philadelphia Mint during that year. But it is still highly collectible due to its steel composition and wartime production story. Coins in circulated condition like the one we are discussing are much more common than uncirculated or mint state examples, but they still command interest from collectors looking to complete Lincoln cent collections or from those who appreciate coins with historical significance. The market value of a 1943 Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition, varies, depending on the degree of wear and presence of any notable flaws, such as rust, scratches, or cleaning marks. Typically, such coins sell for a modest premium over face value, often ranging from a few dollars to around $10 for coins in average circulated condition. However, coins that are exceptionally well preserved or have minimal oxidation can fetch higher prices, sometimes $20 to $30, especially if the coin exhibits good eye appeal, despite its age. It is also important to note that 1943 pennies, made from copper instead of steel, are extremely rare and worth thousands of dollars. But the standard steel pennies, like the one we are discussing, remain an accessible entry point for collectors interested in Lincoln cents. Collectors value these coins not just for their monetary worth, but for the story they tell about the United States during a critical period in history. Every scratch, speck of rust, and worn detail reflects decades of circulation and handling, providing a tangible connection to the home front during World War II. For anyone interested in collecting Lincoln Wheat pennies, owning a 1943 no-mint mark steel penny is a must because it represents a unique chapter in the series that diverges from the traditional copper composition. Even in normal, dirty condition, the coin serves as a bridge between history and numismatics, offering both educational value and a satisfying addition to a collection. When considering purchasing or selling this coin in today's market, it is essential to carefully inspect it for any severe corrosion, cleaning damage, or other significant imperfections that could affect its value. Consulting current auction results and dealer prices will give a more accurate picture of its going rate, which for a typical circulated example usually falls within a reasonable range of a few dollars to $10, providing an affordable way for new collectors to engage with U.S. coin history. In conclusion, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark in normal, dirty, circulated condition, may not be the rarest coin in the Lincoln cent series, but its historical significance, unique steel composition, and connection to the World War II era make it a fascinating and desirable coin for collectors of all levels. Its modest market value does not detract from its importance, and every collector who appreciates the story behind the coin will recognize its enduring appeal as a piece of American numismatic history.
Next up, this video takes you into the world of the 1941 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark, a coin that continues to attract collectors even when it is found in full damage and dirty condition. Many people often overlook coins that look worn, aged, scratched, or heavily circulated, but the truth is that even damaged coins can hold interesting value when they carry the right mint mark, design history, and collector demand. The 1941 S wheat penny is a coin that tells its own story of American history, wartime preparation, and the long circulation life of early copper cents. The year 1941 was an important time for the United States, as the world was moving closer to the pressures of World War II. The U.S. Mint was producing large quantities of coins for everyday use, and the San Francisco Mint contributed millions of cents that year. The wheat penny design, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, was already a familiar sight in American pockets. By 1941, these coins were trusted, reliable, and widely used by the public. On the obverse side, the 1941 S penny shows the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The date 1941 sits slightly to the right of Lincoln's profile, and underneath the date you see the S mint mark standing for the San Francisco Mint. This mint mark is the key to what makes the coin more interesting to collectors, because during the early 1940s, fewer coins were produced at San Francisco compared to the Philadelphia Mint, and for that reason, the S-marked pennies always carry a little more attention. On the reverse side, the wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above. This design remained in place for decades, and it is one of the most recognized American coin designs. Even in dirty, worn, scratched, or discolored condition, the design can still be identified, and collectors often look for even small remaining details. For the 1941 S wheat penny, the original mintage was over 92 million, which means this coin is not considered rare in normal condition, but not all coins survive the same way. Some remained in collections, while many others were used for decades, leading to heavy wear, damage, and discoloration. A full damage and dirty condition coin often shows deep scratches, faded details, corrosion, rust, dirt buildup, dents, and loss of surface shine. In many cases, the coin may look unattractive, but collectors still check it for its mint mark and date combination. The value of a 1941 S wheat penny in fully damaged and dirty condition is usually lower than well-preserved coins. However, the market still gives it the small collectible value because it is an early S mint wheat penny. In today's auction market, a heavily damaged 1941 S penny can generally sell for around 5 cents to 25 cents, depending on how severe the damage is. Some examples may sell for 50 cents if the date and mint mark remain clear and readable, because collectors who build year and mint sets often buy low-grade coins to fill empty spots. If the coin has extreme corrosion or almost unreadable features, the value may drop close to face value, but even then, collectors or hobbyists sometimes buy such coins in groups for small premium prices. The key factor for this coin is that it is still a part of the wheat penny series, which remains one of the most popular coin collections in the world. The strong collector interest keeps even poor condition coins at a modest value. When looking at a damaged coin, people sometimes assume it is worthless, but in the world of coins, age, mint mark, and demand are more important than appearance. The 1941 S wheat penny, even in rough condition, represents a time when the U.S. Mint was preparing for wartime changes, including the temporary shift to steel pennies in 1943. A 1941 copper wheat penny with an S mint mark connects directly to that era, and that historical link adds to its appeal. Collectors who search through rolls, bags, or old family jars often look for S mint coins because these are less common in circulation. Even damaged examples are bought to complete sets or for beginners who want affordable coins to start learning about American coin history. In today's market, if you are thinking about selling a 1941 S wheat penny in full damage and dirty condition, you can expect a small but steady value. Because coin dealers and small online auctions regularly list these coins, the price range remains stable on most platforms: 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, or slightly more if the coin still shows its details clearly. If you find one of these coins, you can keep it as part of a personal collection or sell it in a lot with other wheat pennies, since group sales often bring a better combined value. Some buyers purchase damaged wheat pennies for educational purpose, art crafts, metal study, or simply as historical pieces. The 1941 S. Abraham Lincoln wheat penny may not be a high-dollar coin in damaged condition, but it still carries historical value and modest collectible demand. It shows how even a worn coin can remain part of the coin market today, and how collectors continue to appreciate the story behind every coin. This concludes the detailed look into the 1941 S. wheat penny in full damage and dirty condition and its value in today's dollar market.
Next up, the 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history and holds a special place in the hearts of collectors around the world. The penny was part of the Lincoln Wheat series that began in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This series continued until 1958 and is known for the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side and the wheat ears on the reverse side. The 1939 wheat penny is particularly interesting because it was minted during a time of economic recovery in the United States and just before the outbreak of World War II. The design was created by Victor Yvette Brenner, who first introduced the Lincoln cent with the same portrait back in 1909. The obverse side of the coin features a detailed and dignified image of President Lincoln with the inscriptions "United States of America, in God we trust," and the word "liberty," along with the date 1939. The reverse side is equally historic and shows two stylized wheat ears surrounding the denomination 1 cent and the phrase "E pluribus unum." Collectors are always interested in the 1939 wheat penny in good condition because it represents a piece of pre-war American coinage. Many of these coins were heavily circulated over the years and developed wear, which makes coins in good condition more desirable. There is no mint mark on the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny from Philadelphia, and this absence adds to its authenticity for collectors. The coin is composed primarily of copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, which gives it a rich reddish-brown color that can develop a beautiful patina over time. Value of the 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark varies depending on its condition and market. Demand coins that are in good condition show light wear on the high points of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears on the reverse, but still retain clear details. The edges of the coin remain intact, and the inscriptions are legible. Collectors today often pay attention to luster and eye appeal in addition to condition, which can significantly affect the market value. As of now, a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition without a mint mark is generally valued between $10 and $20 in the current market. Coins that are closer to very fine or uncirculated condition can fetch significantly higher prices, ranging from $50 to over $100 depending on grading and collector interest. Aside from its monetary value, the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny is prized by collectors for its historical context. It was minted in an era when the United States was emerging from the Great Depression and the nation was on the verge of entering World War II. This coin represents a period of American history that is deeply significant and tangible. Through numismatics, the Lincoln wheat penny series as a whole has become one of the most collected coin series in the U.S. states, with many enthusiasts attempting to complete full date and mint mark collections. Another important aspect of the 1939 wheat penny is its durability. Despite being a copper alloy coin, it has withstood decades of handling and circulation. The design by Brenner has stood the test of time and ELO. The design by Brenner has stood the test of time and remains instantly recognizable today. Coin grading is an important factor for collectors seeking the 1939 wheat penny. Coins are evaluated based on factors such as strike quality, surface preservation, and overall appearance. A coin in good condition represents a mid-grade where most of the design is still clear, though some minor wears evident on Lincoln's cheek and jawline and on the wheat stalks on the reverse side. Market trends for the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny indicate steady demand among collectors who focus on completing Philadelphia mint sets or historical collections. The coin also appeals to those interested in Abraham Lincoln memorabilia, or early 20th century U.S. coinage. The absence of a mint mark does not diminish its significance. Rather, it emphasizes its production at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the majority of Lincoln wheat pennies each year. Addition to its collectible appeal, the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny also provides educational value for those interested in U.S. history and coinage. It offers insight into the materials and techniques used in coin production at the time, as well as the cultural importance of Abraham Lincoln as a national figure. Collecting these pennies allows enthusiasts to connect with history in a tangible and meaningful way and provides a starting point for broader numismatic studying. Summary: the 1939 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark in good condition, is a valuable coin for both historical and collector reasons. Its design by Victor David Brenner captures the likeness of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse wheat ears symbolize the agricultural heritage of the United States. The coin, in good condition, retains its details and offers collectors a piece of pre-war American history today. The market value for such a coin generally ranges from $10 to $20, with higher-grade examples commanding significantly more. The 1939 wheat penny remains a key piece in any serious Lincoln cent collection and continues to capture the interest of numismatists and history enthusiasts alike.